Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Manliness Venture. Today we're going to be talking about shaving and the importance of ritual in a man's life. So what is a ritual? Is it something that you do out in the woods with a bunch of crazy people? Is it something that you do when you're worshiping something? Well, not necessarily. This is a pretty good definition that I got from a man who's a poet. His name is William Hyatt. A ritual is a symbolic action through which the soul or the psyche can receive or understand a message. We can think of this as kind of like a rite of passage. You know, a lot of cultures back in history would do this with their young men. And you can see this in 300 when the young king leaves and comes back. That was a rite of passage. That was a ritual. So a ritual is something that requires intention and separation. Essentially, you need to either separate yourself physically in a different location or in a mental location, like a state of mind. And all rituals have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And we can see this kind of in a ceremony, like a graduation, for example. That is a ritual, and it has a beginning, a middle, and an end when everybody's dismissed and you don't have to go to school anymore, in most cases.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
And the closure is important because essentially you're coming back to reality. So you've gone through this experience and then you come back to your normal everyday. Now this sounds very woo-woo, but it's actually really important to a man's life. And that's why so many cultures in the past would have a rite of passage and multiple rituals throughout a man's life. So I'm not here to say that we need some intense rituals, some ritualistic experiences that take us out into the woods and we sacrifice animals. But what I am saying is that there are benefits to rituals, small rituals in everyday life. One of the benefits of these small rituals is that you move from an intense concentration on what's next to living in the present, to being in the moment. And I also believe it's important because it's not something that the outside world is forcing you to do. You know, a lot of times we go through life and we're kind of reactionary. And even if we plan our days out, most of the things that are in our to-do list are things that we have to do, that the outside world basically makes us do for us to continue on living. And those things are important, but a ritual is a space where it's something that you need to do for yourself. It's something that you are doing for yourself. It's a conscious decision that you are making to be present in the moment. And I believe that rituals can help us develop a more powerful and mature masculinity. So what does this ritual stuff have to do with shaving? Well, shaving is a very masculine endeavor. Yes, it's something that women do, but shaving our face is something that's very masculine and has been throughout history. There have been multiple cultures that have had rites of passage focused around shaving. Because when your body starts growing facial hair, you're moving from boyhood into manhood. And cultures in the past have recognized the importance of this. In ancient India, a young man would be shaved for the first time by a priest when he turned 16. Another example in history is a young Roman man would be shaved for the first time in a ritualistic religious experience.
I know. It's hard to recognize me without king stash.
The shaving on one's face is an extremely manly thing to do, and it's something that most of us have to do very often. So how can this be a small ritual to our manliness? Now, I'm not talking about making this something religious like the Romans or the Hindus, but I am saying that shaving can be a time where we focus and enjoy being men. It doesn't have to be just a chore that you do every day. Now, I understand that most of the time we don't have time. We just have to shave and get out the door, and that's fine. But there are times where it's important to take a moment and enjoy the process. So I'm gonna show you the two different ways that I shave, two different methods. One is a more ritualistic one where I take the time to focus on manliness and being a man and the kind of man that I want to be. And this way to me is more enjoyable, but it does take more time. And the second method is a quick way to shave and go on about my day. So here we go. Now it's time for the tutorial. Method number 1. So I'm about to start shaving, and I normally do this shirtless, but there is a lady present. So this is my ritual shaving. The first thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you have hot water. So the water's heating up there, and one of the things that is essential is that your facial hair is hydrated and warmed up. Now this can mean you can either come out of the shower or you can wash your face with hot water, and that's what I'm about to do. Once you get the water hot, What you want to do is grab a mug, and it can be any mug, and then just fill it up to about 3/4 of the way full. You're gonna put your brush in there. But when you put it in hot water, what you're doing is you're softening the brush, and that makes for a more enjoyable experience on your face. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure you get all of your facial hair. So now your hair is warmed up and softened up. What you're gonna do next is you're gonna get this water that was with the brush, dump it, kind of shake your brush out, get the excess water out. And now this is where the shaving cream comes in. You can also use the shaving cream, usually the ones that come in a tube, and just put a little bit, but I prefer the shaving soap. Once you have your brush pretty lathered up in the soap, you can just put the soap away. And then you grab your mug, and then you just start.
No need to worry about your pre-recorded music tapes being accidentally erased. It can't happen.
So once you have a pretty thick consistency, you can go ahead and apply it on your face. You want to make sure that you get right underneath your nose. Using the shaving brush feels so good. There's a couple different ways of doing this. What I like to do is have the hot water running, and then I'll rinse it with really hot water. Stop the water to save the planet.
Happy to help, Planeteers. The power is yours.
Now what other people like to do is they'll leave the hot water running and they'll close the drain, they'll let the water pool, and then you can just wash it. It's up to you. So get the water going really hot, get your razor warmed up, and then you can start shaving. What you want to do with the razor is keep it at an angle. Another helpful way of looking at it is the curvature of the razor, this dome part, should rest against your skin when you're pushing it down. You don't need to push with a lot of force. You basically just let the weight of the razor itself cut your whiskers. Wash it off with hot water because it's important that the edge of the blade is hot. And you don't have to go fast. This is about taking the time and focusing on the fact that you are a man.
I'm a man who discovered the wheel and built the Eiffel Tower out of metal and brawn.
Another important tip is that you have to go with the grain of your hair. Do not go against it or sideways on it. This is the time where you can really get into the ritual and meditate about being a man. Sheer masculine joy. Once you get your first pass through shaving, you're going to want to make sure you do it again for a closer shave. So if your brush has gotten cold, you can add a little bit of hot water, just a few drops, and mix it again and then start lathering again. What you want to make sure you do after you're done shaving is wash your face with cold water because that will close your pores and it'll also soothe your skin.
Get scratching.
And then what you want to do is pat your face dry. So now that my face is pretty dry, what you want to do is your aftershave, and I really like these ones. This brand is fantastic, Proraso. I've been using it for years. What aftershave does is it soothes your skin. It helps clean it and make sure that it stays hydrated. So just put a little bit on your hand, and then put it on your other hand. And the smell of alcohol and the feeling of this on your skin just completes the ritual. That feels nice and I feel manly.
But now, completely clean shaven.
So there you go. That's the ritual of shaving. You have the beginning, you start heating up the water and you get everything laid out. Then you have the middle, and that's the part of doing the brush and shaving. And then you have the end where you finish off, you wash your face, and then you put on aftershave. And that's a great way to get in touch with your manliness. Alright, so it's been a couple of days and I grew my facial hair back. And I'm here to do method number 2, and that's the more commonplace razor with multiple blades. I use Harry's products because I think that they're a fantastic company and their blades are really, really good. Let's get shaving. Alright, so you want to do the same thing, get the water hot. Wash your face, or if you just came out of the shower, it's fine too. Get your shaving cream. Put a little bit on there. You can get whatever kind of shaving cream you like, and like I said, you can use the brush too on this part. You spread it out. get your razor, you want to make sure that you rinse it with hot water again. Make sure that the blade is hot. And same thing, go with the grain of your hair and don't go sideways.
Are going on a run.
And with this one, you can go a little bit faster just because there's more blades, it's a little bit safer. And you can see why this method is quite a bit faster. Like I said, on the other method is a little bit more enjoyable. You take your time. I'm gonna go through a second pass, make sure I didn't miss anything. A lot of people like to go against the way that their hair grows, but that's not a good idea because it can really irritate your skin.
Let's get scratching.
Last but not least, you want to make sure they use the blade that's in the back of this to go ahead and get under that spot in your nose that's hard to get. And boom, you're done shaving. Like I said, now you want to wash your face with cold water. That soothes your face. Now you pat your face dry. Now for the finishing touch, aftershave. This one's a little bit different than the other one. This one's a little bit more of a lotion, as the other one was like more alcohol based. But they both work great. Soothes the skin, helps her prevent razor burn. Smells very masculine. That feels excellent. And you're done, good to go out the door. All right, so there you have it. Those are the two ways that I shave. One, like I said, is a more ritualistic way where you get to meditate and think about being a man and the kind of man you want to be, and the other one is just the more quick version of that. But either way, you're gonna be clean shaven, you're gonna be looking good. If you can grow a beard, good on you, because I can't do that.
Your beard is good.
If you want to try any of these products, I'll have a link in the description below. You can click through the links and go on and buy them and try them out for yourself, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you're watching this channel and you shave your face, you're a man. And I want you to celebrate that fact. And you know, it can be as simple as celebrating when you're shaving. You know, sometimes life gets tough and it gets really hard to enjoy things, but this is a moment that it's just you and yourself, man. You know, be the man that you are and think about the man that you want to be. And so until next time, man up.